The T, you know, is coming through his own personal channels. Tax and all that I don't think applies in Murkystone, that's why it's coming here. Shipping through the Great Lakes is, always was a challenge.
Yes, especially with those in the Americas who have big noses they like to hover over.
Well, that and in Chicago you have to deal with one currency. This is a perfect little haven out here.
That it is, not quite attached to anyone in particular, but
Exactly.
mixed enough with just about everyone that things can come and go.
Dolly's laundering money.
Makes perfect sense why he would want a position here established for his business.
What are we gonna do about the job?
That is a most excellent question.
I was looking at it, and it looks like between where the teller is and the door in the back there's an office, right? And another door that goes out, not to the teller's room. Have you seen that too?
Yes, I have. Which is why I have been so adamant about trying to get the power cut to that back door, that I might take a look.
I'm wondering if we do need to cut the power, if we're missing something with those station things. Because there's a power box behind the teller.
There's one behind the teller.
Yeah, it looks similar enough, right?
Alright.
But I don't know. Definitely not close enough to actually do anything with, and two people with eyes on it at all times. So, of course, what are we supposed to do if somebody's there watching the whole time?
Well, we can always have a third standing out in the front room distracting them.
Well, you can't have the tellers not watching. They're gonna watch the whole time. I don't know, I'm just... There's gotta be something we're missing, right? I can't imagine... Maybe it's in order. Maybe we're not waiting long enough. I don't know who we would ask about, like, electrical stuff like that. And maybe that's not even the right door.
Hmm. Yes, these are all questions that we need to get answered as quickly as possible.
I need you to open a business just so you can help me fabricate money orders.
It's alright, I'll open up a shop right next to you. They can order a hat from you and then sit down and buy a glass of wine while they're waiting for their hat to be made. You did originally want Frank next door, didn't you? Something
I
about
did. I
a
wanted a
bar?
tavern or a bar, something we knock out the wall in the middle. You as a tavern, Frank as a supplier. Hmm. Or a lounge. This is already a bit of a lounge, but it's really not very big.
No, and having the place next door, like you say, remove that wall, maybe move things around just a bit.
Maybe. I don't know if they'll let us take the wall out. We would definitely be breaking some sort of laws. Maybe you outlaw walls. Do you want to outlaw walls for me, Mr. Max, Mr. Counselor? I get. Ah! I think that will be the bestest plan. Outlaw walls. Good business, I think.
Or just simply make it so that the code allows for two businesses to work together if they need.
Maybe. I don't know. I just hope they never take the moratorium off again. You know? Hope it stays in place.
I would agree, but as it looks now, I don't know if we're gonna get that lucky.
Why you say that?
But we'll see. Oh, by the last meeting that we had, they seem to be more or less agreeing upon there needing to be some form of taxation.
That's if the moratorium ever comes up off again. You need a majority to do that, don't you?
That you would.
So, free business, enough counselors in pocket, means no taxes.
I would agree. That does, however, mean getting these counselors' agreements
Well, maybe you.
before next Sunday's vote.
I was gonna say maybe you should seduce Miss Genevieve, but I think Victor Gray might have an issue with that.
That does not mean that I cannot sweeten her up a bit.
It's true. And Miss Rose, I think you could go to church with her. I don't think she'd ever buy it if I tried to go to church with her. She'd immediately be suspicious, like, what do you want, Dolly?
The questions would be abound.
Why is Dolly going to church? I saw Jesus. Okay, she's definitely
She's
lying.
lying and hallucinating for sure, this one. Speaking of which, you all right today? You have
Yeah.
seemed fine all day that I've seen you, but last night was.
Delusions continued late into the evening, into my mind and my dreams. So, left me a bit frazzled. Oh, hi, Frank.
Hmm.
Come on
Yes, I was
in.
gonna knock on the door anyways.
Evening.
Didn't want to scare anybody if they didn't see me.
You are a terrifying individual. Who do you.
I didn't know I was that terrifying.
So scary. Who do you sell your moonshine to, Mr. Frank?
Currently, nobody.
Are you looking for a buyer?
Why, somebody planned to buy some.
Somebody thought you looked like a good business partner.
I'm always open to trade and selling stuff here.
No, this would be something a little bit more. More. Not, you know, business to consumer. This would be business to business.
Okay. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Uh, associate Mr. Fisk is, interested in meeting you.
Hmm. Is that so?
Mm-hmm. He could smell your moonshine, and he thought it an interesting proposition.
Yes, the moonshine is quite strong. I actually have it producing in the shop now too.
Well, at some point, I would like to introduce you to Mr. Fisk, and he will probably want to have a conversation about supplying you some foreign alcohols and purchasing some of yours.
Sounds good to me.
He often gets unusual things, and he is in need of dealers, usually, who can sell it locally.
That I can definitely do. Weapons, alcohol, and everything.
Well, that was a much easier conversation than I was expecting it to be. How have you been, Frank?
I've been, well, here and there and everywhere.
How's your ticker doing?
Hmm?
Your heart, how's your heart doing?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Feeling any calmer?
A little bit.
A little bit's better than not at all.
Why, did I do something stupid or something?
No. You're a staple of the community. I was curious how you've been.
I don't think I'm that much to the community. Yeah, I'm just a person.
Ain't a person I know of who doesn't know who you are, Frank. And respect you.
I try to be a good person. I know I've been through a lot and a lot of things I don't discuss about, but I try to be a good person and try to leave things in the past where it doesn't bother me as much.
Something happened here that you need to leave behind already.
Something happened here? I mean, there's a lot of things happening here. There's
No.
the redcoats.
No, I mean, has something happened here that you already need to leave behind?
I can't be sure of that yet.
Frank. Frank, you... It hurts me to watch you hurt yourself sometimes.
I don't think I'm gonna hurt myself.
No, not physically. You come sit with us. Frank,
Huh?
how old are you? I'm being assaulted by this couch. Fuck you, couch. Very unhappy about this couch.
I don't think I'm that old, to be fairly honest. Maybe. Probably around, what, 22 to 25 area? I don't keep great track of it.
Frank, you are not so old you can be losing track of your birth. How old you are. I'm 24. You are making me concerned about my own sanity, and I already have a great concern about it now compared to you.
Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't really keep track of the birthdays in Dust Bowl towns. We just worked.
Yeah, but you have to have at least counted your summers and winters.
It was a Dust Bowl town, Miss Murder. It's pretty hard to tell when it's when it's either. The summer you can tell when it's hotter, and winter, well, it's still a bit barren.
Say how old
That
were
isn't
you when
all
the
the
war
time
ended, but you probably wouldn't keep track because at that point you would have lost it already.
Lost what?
Your age. Were you drafted?
We weren't really affected by the war because we were such on the outskirts. We had the quote-unquote town militia, but that was just all the citizens in the town, of the Dust Bowl town.
Those none of the armies go marching through nowheres. Were you old enough to have been drafted at that time? Probably not. At most, you're not much older than I am, which means you probably weren't.
I've been working most of my life, so I wouldn't know much. We didn't really have much communication with the outer world. We mainly just had the trades routes that come through ever so often, which was our main source of food and water.
You interested in any of the essences, Frank? I have some. I was gonna try and sell them to Mr. Blonde, but he seems stuck up Miss Celeste's ass, so.
If you
What?
want to, I could either pay for it or I could take them off your hands.
just keep fixing
have
my
to send.
shit.
Of course, Miss Murder. I do have to send a letter to the town, anyways. Seems like some of my special areas to build some stuff have seem to some of the tools have broken.
Oh, what do you mean?
Hmm. You know how there's all these instances you brought me.
Yeah.
How they're different colors.
Yeah.
They're I don't know how to explain it, but they're different types. And well, some of the types seem to have their tools have to broken.
Oh. My,
Yes.
my.
I have a little area that helps me tell me what I need, but it seems like I'm missing about half the things to actually produce what I need to produce.
What are you missing?
Mm, if I remember correctly, there's the gold one they provided me, which I think they nicknamed it Life. I do have the death one, air one. I think I'm missing. Earth one I think I got. Fire one I think I got, and water I think I'm missing.
Ah. Hmm. Are you sure?
I'll go check my shop right now. Hello, Whitney. See, I got the death tools right here. Earth tools right here.
Yes, no, I
Then it seems like these
see.
two are missing, and then I got the fire weapons right here, and then
Yep.
also one that I could tell things of. Although, this might be a sign that I should be moving shops then. I was thinking of upgrading to a large one anyways.
Are you sure they're not there? If you take a peek around one more time.
Let me double check. No. Now they are...
They were totally there all along. They definitely
Now
weren't
I see them.
disabled.
And so there's a little mouse hiding my tools now.
Yes. It must
My
have
word.
been a little mouse hiding your tools. Totally, that's what it was the whole time.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's definitely a mouse. You could probably blame the city workers. They're all just terrible, terrible people.
I think they're good people.
I feel like you don't know them very well.
I may not know them very well, but I think truly they can be good people.
I mean, I will say it's not very hard to dumbfound them.
Why do you say that?
Just apply a little ice to their forehead, they cool right off.
I'm not asking how you found that out.
He's a master with his hands.
Do I want to know which one you hit?
I did not hit anybody. They were hitting each other. and I decided that they needed a little ice to cool off and take care of the bumps they gave each other. Miss Greta was standing there with her gun out, practically holding up the entire square, and I walked up and placed some ice on her forehead, and immediately she was just completely frozen.
Interesting. Miss Greta does have a toot sometimes, but I think she could also still be a good person if worked on.
Oh, I have no doubt they could all be good persons if they had the right persuasion.
But yes. You have anything else to ask me?
Just anything you like to share. I don't get to talk to you very much, Frank.
Like everybody else knows, I come from a Dust Bowl town. Reason I had to move over here. That Dust Bowl town ran out of ores. So we didn't have anything that could really supply us anymore. So I separated from my family, so I wasn't going to be a burden or anything, and moved to a new town and tried to open a business to keep on the family business moving.
What have you been up to other than working? I always see you working or just hanging out in town.
Sometimes I'll start working on supplies for Devil's Canyon, making sure we got the shaped wood and other stuff, since I could finally repair my little hand scythe. I've also been making sure we got the hops. I've been trying to get that, and also seeds. The seeds make...
Frank, I wouldn't worry about the hops. You know that we've got like 50,000 of that, right?
Last time I checked, we had about bushels of 500. That would make it about 23 bushels, if I remember correctly.
So, unless someone has absconded with the hops that we had, if you go over to where the little garden is, you know the little stand that's there?
There's hops over there? I go out and gather hops
There-
every single day.
Yes, there's like 50,000 plus there.
Come on in. Well, now I feel stupid.
I did not know that.
Evening.
Evening, Miss Genevieve and Mr. Lacroix.
It me.
Well,
I have some very unfortunate news of wanting to talk to you about a thing, Mr. Max, that you probably definitely don't want to talk about, and you probably talked about like 5 times.
Should I leave?
Very, very well.
If you don't mind. I rather hear something from someone's mouth rather than, pass through multiple
Of course,
people.
stay safe.
Frank, you don't need to go anywhere. It's
this
not a
is my
secret.
shop. You're not sending people out of my shop. Hello?
This is no secret.
I got no
Frank,
clue
you
what's going
are
on now.
welcome to stay. This is my shop. You are not to be sent away from my shop.
Yeah, of course. Are we okay to have this conversation here, Miss Dolly? I don't want to if you wish not.
Don't mind. It's Max's business. If he doesn't mind, I don't care. But don't be sending people out of my shop. Hello.
I didn't. I don't mind. It's up to him.
I mean, Technically, it's Miss Dolly's business as well, as she was there yesterday, if it's the conversation that I think it's going to be.
It is. I have been told about it by Miss Brown, but then I was told again about it by
Yes.
the doctor here after the doctor spoke to you. I just wanted to confirm things, you know?
Yes, of course.
So I suppose you don't really need to retell because I've gotten it from him, I think, pretty well, but could I ask a few questions? Because people are now proposing that they don't see you suited to the council.
Who?
Those that are very angry over Miss Tamara's injuries.
Couldn't be
So individuals who were not there, who do not know what happened, are upset over.
I have multiple
Hearsay.
accounts too, actually. I had an account from Vok2 that was very unbiased, where he told me that he witnessed quite an intense and heated argument in which you were yelled at by Miss Tamara and you were yelling at her, something involving being fired and a whole lot of stuff. And Vok2 was quite confused.
I would not say that either of us were yelling, more so that we were a bit of a ways apart, and we were out in the open. But we were not necessarily yelling at one another so much.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, ask your questions, or...
So you were laid off earlier in the day, right, from the constabulary?
Correct. I was laid off, and I was told the reason I was being laid off was because I was a member of the council.
It's very interesting considering Roderick's on the council, but fine.
I was told that apparently Roderick was going to be let go as well.
That's a shame. Why? What?
He has given no other indication as to why, other than the fact that he does not believe that we are capable of giving the proper amount of time to the constabulary as well as to being council members, apparently at the same time, even though Roderick has had no problem with it for nearly 3 weeks now, and I have only just barely started and not had any near the adequate amount of time to be able to have such a judgment given.
Yes. Okay, no, yes, I don't agree with that happening for that reason, but regardless, so I've been told by a few of the sources that have told me the story that you were drunk. I'm going to ascertain you were having a nice time because you got let go, and I would want to drink too. I mean, is that correct?
You are not wrong. I was indeed drinking.
He was
Right.
babysitting me.
Yes, Miss
Yes,
Meadow, you really
that
need
too.
to lay off all the drinking.
Well, I also need to lay off the hallucinations, but one and the other.
Oh dear. All right.
She only
Yeah.
drinks the weak whiskey, not even moonshine.
Oh, that's right. Mr. Frank said you're a lightweight.
Well, when you do the whiskey and the cigs and the snuff, and then sit in the den for a while.
Oh dear. Okay. Well.
Yes, I only had the whiskey. She had a little bit more.
What's the
Right.
snuff?
The snuff? It's called cocaine.
Oh goodness.
I was spaced out for a minute. Did I miss something?
No.
Hmm?
Either way.
Fine, fine.
Just a bit of recreational medication. Anyway.
Yes.
There was mention one of the big concerns is someone, I believe it was stated earlier that it was Miss Dolly that said you just wanted to enjoy this show and you agreed, as in Miss Tamara getting hurt. I don't know. That's how people are taking it, interpreting it. You were enjoying watching her get harmed.
So,
No, so the missing context there is that Miss Tamara asked if we were enjoying the show. Here, let me go ahead and back up though and give you the full rundown of what happened from our time
Sure.
running into Miss Marie and Mr. Voktu, and us going out to the Highlands, and then everything that happened thereafter.
I'm gonna excuse myself, so have a
Right,
good day.
Frank. Have a nice night.
All right, Frank.
Alright, Frank. Go get those kneecaps, Frank.
Will
Bye.
do.
So, Miss Dolly, I found in the den. She was already quite intoxicated, and I liberated her whiskey flask from her and began drinking a bit myself. Shortly thereafter, Miss Marie ran in with Mr. Voktu in tail and asked if we would be willing to come out to the Highlands and bear witness to their conversation. We were told that. Sorry, Miss Dolly, go ahead.
She owed me money.
I was told that by Vogty. I was about to bring that up.
Yes.
Alright, fair enough.
But we were told so long as we did not try and attack anyone or brandish weapons, that they were just going out there to talk and that we would not be harmed. So we went out there, Miss Dolly to collect her money and myself to make sure that there was not going to be any additional fighting going on between the two of them, as Mr. Voktu has already been taken advantage of. And upon getting there, Miss Marie and Mr. Voktu ran out ahead of us. And out of nowhere, Miss Tamara showed up and began attacking Miss Marie. Swiftly thereafter, individuals wearing the red robes came down out of the hills and began removing Miss Tamara from her actions against Miss Marie by force.
Mm-hmm.
Once Miss Dolly and I got over there, we were still there expecting that they were going to be speaking to one another, because once Miss Tamara had finally calmed down and stopped attacking, they stopped attacking her. So Miss Dolly and I sat down, to which Miss Tamara then started speaking to me for some reason, and one of the comments made was whether or not I and Miss Dolly was enjoying the show. I believe I made the comment. Doctor, do you remember what it was that Miss Rose said?
Something about entertainment. I don't remember the exact wording. I didn't write it down.
Yes, she asked if we were enjoying the show. I think it was something about I rebutted with, yes, this is prime entertainment.
Right.
It was not intended as I'm enjoying watching her get hurt, as at that time she had not been hurt other than to remove her from her attempt to assault Miss Marie.
Right. Apparently, not to stop you, there's also a rumor going about that you are making deals with and consorting with cultists, which I was able to stop the moment I heard it, saying I was there and you spoke to them, but I don't know who's spinning that one up.
That's 'cause Marie owed me money that's even in my order book there. 40 silver. I was gonna sue her estate. That was the only reason we went out there.
I thought it was attributed to Mr. Maximilian's conversation about trying to arrange some sort of meeting, but perhaps it could be.
No, that. So, unfortunately, there seems to have, on that regard, been some sort of miscommunication. I spoke to Mr. Miles about 15 minutes after that meeting that we had where Miss Marie had come out of the machine
Mm-hmm.
and told him everything that had happened with Miss Marie, that we were to not tamper with the machines until we had had our conversation with them, that could bring 5 of the constabulary there, and that they would bring 5 of their own, and that so long as there was no foul play involved, that they would be respectful and speak to us as we exchanged questions, and everything else that you are aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he did not pass this information along to anyone else. I tried to pass it along to Miss Tamara, but that evening was, well, there were individuals who had been in the hospital, and Miss Tamara herself had not been feeling well. She was a bit sick that evening. And so even though I had told her that I had had a conversation with Miss Marie and set up the meeting, I did not get the opportunity to share all of the details with her. And apparently, she and Mr. Roderick had gone out to another one of the machines and begun tampering with it.
Good lord. Right, and we were told not to, otherwise, wrath, whatnot.
Yes, which upset them, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because of this miscommunication, uh, I don't know, I guess they are not feeling too kindly towards Miss Tamara. But ultimately, while Miss Dolly and I were sitting there had not been any fighting going on, and truth be told, there hadn't been much conversing going on between them either, as Miss Tamara seemed very adamant about levying her insults toward myself.
Yeah, she was
Right.
foul yesterday. I don't know what her attitude problem is, but she's got an attitude problem.
Mm-hmm.
Shortly thereafter, however, Mr. Roderick showed up with his rifle in hand. He, as Miss Dolly says, had been standing over watching. I had not seen him at first, but he had apparently been standing over watching for some time, almost dumbfounded at what he was seeing, which I don't blame him for, but he then ended up brandishing his rifle and coming over. And as soon as the red-robed individual saw him running up with his rifle in hand, I guess it spooked him something pretty good, because they immediately turned around and started attacking Mr. Roderick, which in kind then meant that Miss Tamara and Mr. Vaktu
Nope.
went to try and help.
Vaktu did not
Miss-
fight. He did not fight. He just ran around.
That's true. He just ran. He did. He just ran around, like trying to distract him or talk to him. I don't know. They had gone too far for us to hear what was going on vocally, but Miss Tamara was trying to attack him, and Mr. Roderick was trying to attack him. Eventually, they had both fallen to the attack by the red-robed individual, and Mr. Vaktu then began trying to assist the injuries that Miss Tamara had received. Again, though, at this time, by that point in time, they were out of earshot, so we were no longer able to hear what was going on. And being intoxicated the way that I was, and Miss Dolly being significantly intoxicated, I kind of felt like if I had tried to help out or brandish my weapon, number one, I would not have been very sufficient in assisting, and it would only have meant that they would have been attacking Miss Dolly likely as well, as we were there only to listen and not engage.
Mm-hmm. This is a very complex situation, and I feel like there are a lot of emotions involved that are personal and being made not personal. I don't know. The concern now is not my own, but that due to your decision making yesterday, that you are not fit to make decisions as a council member. What do you say about that?
I would say that any who have used yesterday's incident without any actual knowledge of what happened as their reasoning for this are using unfounded emotions to make such a judgment, and that is not in any way, case, or form the truth. I am.
Miss Genevieve, can I ask you, do you find it appropriate to immediately escalate to violence in all situations, especially as a citizen?
No, Mr. Maximilian knows that, as we both spoke to a cultist ourselves.
Indeed.
Then why is
do
the
not.
expectation for him to have escalated to violence alongside with an over-exuberant constabulary?
I don't disagree. I have a
Especially-
proposal, though, before we
Yes.
get into all the conversating, because I don't want to go up on Sunday and say, I am on behalf of the people proposing we remove Mr. Maximilian. No, I would like to bring up the issue because I feel if I don't, the gallery will anyway. And I would like for everyone to say their piece, as messy as that could get. We can have the judge set a clock or something, but I feel it's fair that people stop spinning tales and everyone gets to say their piece, fair and square, and let the council decide with all of the information, like myself and the doctor have attempted to do.
Maybe Tamara could have kept her mouth shut instead of spinning fucking lies and spitting venom on people who genuinely were trying to help her. I went into the hospital yesterday to offer aid to her and Mr. Vaktu, and she told me to fucking leave her alone and don't talk to her. Go away, you bitch.
Ooh.
Some,
Not an individual
Yes.
I'm inclined to be around. Oh, by the way, she also wanders around with masks on for some particular reason. In her own home, dark hooded figure, and she has a pretense for violence against inanimate objects, her door and Mr. Max's included. But I suppose she didn't spread that information, did she? She just insisted on smearing his name because he didn't help her as an intoxicated citizen? And her smart-ass mouth got her injured? It is her own doing. And any sympathy offered to her is simply because nobody listened to actually anyone else tell the truth. But I suppose if I lay in a bed and cry and sob about woe is me, I am a fucking victim, everybody's gonna listen. Don't shoot first and then play the victim, because that's what she did.
As I told Mr. Lacroix here, as well as Rose and Roderick when I had a conversation with them, had Miss Dolly not been there, intoxicated and inebriated in the way that she was, had I not been intoxicated myself, I would have done more to try and facilitate conversation between them so that they did not end up going to blows the way they did. I cannot say that I would have raised a weapon against them, but I would have tried to do more. But my concern at the time, whether my actions in the end were something that people can agree with or not, was to the safety of myself and Miss Dolly. I do not feel like it would have been right for me to have raised a weapon in defense of Miss Tamara at her own actions and put Miss Dolly's life in harm's way in the process when Miss Dolly had not done anything wrong herself.
Mrs. Tamara has a rage issue. She gets very foul very fast and causes people to go at her, and then pretends that somebody else caused it in the first place.
Right. Well, as I expected, this matter is far more complex than just, you know, what was initially painted. So, thank you, though, for talking about it. I'm sure you're quite tired of it.
Actually, Max, who's actually spoken to you on the matter? Or has everybody just taken her word at face value?
From the sounds of those that were in the square badgering me about it, it seems as though most have taken her word for it. But I have thankfully had individuals, my esteemed members of the council, such as you see here, that have at least come to me and tried to get information in my side of the story there.
I think she's running a smear campaign, and that is actually a case of slander, and you should press charges. Because that's what she's doing, is she is slandering him.
I do hope that it would not come to that, but certainly if things do not calm down.
You should definitely talk to a lawyer before you attempt something like that, Mr. Max.
Oh, I know. I'm already planning on speaking, hopefully tomorrow, to Mr. Stannis.
Oh, trust me, I've already been lectured on the don't slander or defame people by Mr. Stannis himself.
No, I can't completely disagree if you feel you are being slandered with doing something about it before it gets way too out of hand.
What is she even accusing him of?
I'm
Not
unsure because she's been unconscious, but the citizens that are her friends are angry and want him removed, so I'm not sure.
because he didn't white knight for her.
Mr. Max, I I have an eye for upcoming disasters, and even if you could find some legal ground to levy such a suit, you should ask yourself whether you should, what that might
No,
accomplish.
you misunderstand. The wanting to speak to Stannis is not one of levying a suit against her. It is merely one of trying to ensure that the legalities are covered on my end, that should any action be taken against me, I have things already set in place to make sure that nobody can just come after me and think that they're going to use hearsay to attack my name.
Can I ask, are any of these people who are so concerned of poor Miss Tamara actually citizens of the canyon? Or is it people upset on her behalf that have no say in his election?
What is it, Matt? Neighborhood they live in.
Because it matters the district you elect your councillor from. Should I get to call and say, well, I don't like this councillor in a district I have no vote in. I want
Yes.
something else.
You could, yeah.
But then I'm getting a vote in 2 districts. And that's purely
No,
unfair.
we represent everyone, and it's not a matter of a vote. If you see me
a vote
for crime,
for councillor in 2 different districts. If I get to discredit a councillor in a district I'm not part of, that's functionally me casting a negative vote against them in a district can't vote in.
that's
You
not what it is.
represent everyone. Yes, it is. It is a slander campaign.
I understand your frustration, Miss Murder. I do. I get it. But this is not the angle. This is not the avenue to go about it.
There is other purpose for me speaking to Stannis as well. I do not particularly think that being let go from my position as a constabulary simply before having been elected by my peers to the council, an unpaid position nonetheless as of yet, is reason enough to release me from my position in the constabulary. So I will be seeking legal advice in that regard as well.
That's understandable. I don't understand why anyone would fire one of their most competent constables, but I'm not, a constable. I can't speak on such matters.
I also found it very odd. And we don't really have well, yours would be the precedent, right? We don't yet have legalities regarding lawful or unlawful firings.
I do believe as of now that would be correct.
But we should. We really should.
I agree. Well, and hopefully, through it all, some good can come out of it.
I really do ask. I really do want to know. What are they calling for his removal for? Like, that's what I don't understand. He broke no laws.
The way that the individuals were speaking in the town square, it is because they believe that I was there more of in support of the red-robed individuals than I was in support of Miss Tamara and Mr. Vaktu. It seems to have been the circulation that you and I, Miss Dolly, were almost cheering on the red-robed individuals in some unfounded manner.
No, they're fucking mad. I mean, Tomorrow's an idiot, but they're fucking crazy.
I don't know if I would go as far as to say that she is
She
crazy,
was
but she
surrounded
is
and she
very
decided to
passionate.
engage in something that was going to get her injured. She made a very, very bad decision.
I do not disagree that she made a very bad decision, but
Stupid.
I do not know why she was there. I do not know what information she had for being there. If she was there alone or if she had planned to be there. It almost screams the way that it all happened, if you think about it, that she and Mr. Vaktu had planned on all of this in order to lure Miss Marie out so that she might be able to arrest her. But it also seems like
I thought Mr. Vaktu
they didn't.
wasn't even trying to be involved in this. He said he was doing Vaktu things.
I don't know. All that I do know is what you and I witnessed.
We witnessed a lot of stupidity and a lot of insanity. And I got my money, which was why we were there in the first place. Would you have gone out there if I had not told you I'm going to go out there and get money from Marie because she owes me 40 silver?
Had I gone out there, had you not gone out there?
Would you have?
At the time, knowing that it was only Mr. Vaktu going, no, I can't say that I would have. I do think that the biggest concern I had was that you were going out there to collect your money.
Speaking of insanity,
Yes?
you're a grown woman, Miss Merlin. You can choose what to do and where to go, but even drunk, surely that can't have seemed like the best idea in the world.
Well, I have to say that was not the most unusual thing I saw that day. Good lord, did I see so many weird things, and I'm not sure how much of it was real and how much of it wasn't. The fact that Marie just showed up in the center of town and said, "Hello, hi, I would like to pay for my hats. Can I have my hats?" I really thought it was a hallucination.
That did catch everyone, I think, in the middle of town square off guard, for sure.
You get hallucinations often?
That day, yes, I was fucking. Oh my god, I swear, it was every 10 minutes something that should not have been there was there, and I was like, why do you think I was so drunk? The hallucinations started before the drinking and the drugs. That was just to make sure I wasn't having a bad trip. First, I see fire in eyes that shouldn't be there, because fire shouldn't be in eyes. Then I see a Marie. Then I see a howling wolf on the hill that draws the ire of the red cloaks. Then I saw a rain of blood and bodies. That was funny. Then I saw more fire and more eyes. Truly a wild day. But if you do enough cocaine, everything's funny.
It's supposed to be recreational or medicinal, not a coping mechanism. It's murder.
Yes, well, you can see what happens when I'm having a bad delusion. Friends get shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, please excuse me if I will take Gideon insane versus violent and insane. To be fair, Dr. Graymore thinks it's something in the hats.
Perhaps the fabrics, or the feather, or the glue.
I don't know. But no, those red cloaks are absolutely insane.
Are they?
Oh, yes.
That we can absolutely agree on.
Things they were saying about Vaktu and Tamara. Things they were saying about Lady Celeste and the rest of her house. Bonkers.
Yes, well, you know how such groups can be. I don't know if you've come across any, but they'll pick something real or imagined to separate the population by, and divide and isolate certain groups. Take advantage of.
There are plenty of things you can pick to dehumanize, well, by Max. Dehumanize somebody. You don't need to pretend that they're monsters.
Isn't that what most religions do about all the rest?
No, usually they just say somebody is less than human, and therefore you can treat them like less than human.
And isn't that what this is?
No, because usually it's just something based on race or creed. They don't make up things.
Well, I mean, if Marie is there, that definitely speaks for their average sanity levels.
Are we talking about the red robes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, when Marie came out of that portal, she was going on and on about crazy stories about werewolves and things of the nature.
That was what they
Is
were
this a
ranting
dragon
about.
too?
No, but I was looking for the fairies. No, she was saying, Vaktu and Tamara are werewolves, and Lady Celeste and her people are vampires. It was... I was like, and I'm a unicorn.
She said that Mr. Grey was a werewolf. She said a lot of things.
Yes.
I didn't get any funny races. Should I be
Would you like to be a
offended?
lizard
Perhaps
person?
it finds me boring. I could pull off scales, couldn't I?
Also,
Yes.
you brought up Dragon's Eye. What if I believe they're real? Doctor?
Listen, we already
I believe
know
they are.
hairless bears are real. We don't need any more fantastical creatures in Murkystone.
Fluffy's living his best horse life somewhere out there.
That is a hairless bear.
Wait, what do you mean somewhere out there? What happened
Well-
to Fluffy?
After he tried to eat me.
Well, I wanted to get
What
Fluffy
happened to Fluffy?
Well, I wanted to get Fluffy to a climate that would better suit him, but on the way, as we were coming through downtown, he started sniffing for hats and
You
started
got
going
rid of
after them.
Fluffy?
Fluffy had been, I don't know, somehow Fluffy got a hunger for hats and was being very disruptive. Yes, I didn't get rid of Fluffy. He
Fluffy
wasn't.
was a gift from Lord Victor.
Wait,
Well,
so you're to blame for the
would you-
destruction of my shop.
No! Heavens no.
Well, you know what? I think
Apparently Fluffy is.
the hairless bear, I can't decide if the hairless bear or the haired bear were worse. Because we had 2 bears in the center of Murkystone in a single day.
That's not a bear, that's Locktooth.
Fluffy
No.
was a horse.
No, there was an actual bear Miss Winona was riding. And then there was a hairless
I
bear
don't-
that was Fluffy.
I don't know, Miss Murder. A bear in the middle of this downtown.
Do you understand why
Or-
I really just don't trust anything I fucking see anymore? Because god damn it, if the hairless bear was real, but the bloodbath wasn't, I'm just really at this point in my life where I just assume it's all a hallucination because none of it fucking makes sense.
I will say though, poor Fluffy, the cold climate wasn't agreeing with him at all. So I wanted to find him a better home that he would be happy in. And then the hat rampage started.
It was terrible. Frankly, I'm kind of over the witch hunt though. These people-
I wouldn't know anything about hat rampages. Nope.
No? No? There were some allegations of fashion crimes.
What do you mean?
Well, horses don't randomly decide to go after hats. They have to be trained, don't they?
That depends on the horse. Are you talking about Lord Victor's hat? Please don't bring that up again.
Did he like his
No,
new one?
I did not get to see it yet, but we were running towards the sewer entrance when he told me about it, and he sounded absolutely excited. I am happy that he is happy.
Let me show you the earlier version of this hat. You'll love it.
Oh, let's see. Goodness, goodness. Okay. Did you make the newest one that Dr. Lacroix has been wearing around town?
Yes?
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
It is a murder, yes.
Oh, but it's such lovely colors.
Called Lord of Fashion.
Oh dear. Yes. Yes. I mean, I can't say I hate the color. I do quite like the color.
Yep.
Oh goodness. I think if you could just make the hats progressively bigger, so eventually he topples over, that would make me quite.
Oh, but speaking of hats, Miss
Yes.
Murder, did my hat pal receive their hat yet?
She criticized it and she made me redo parts of it.
Oh, I should. So it is a woman. That's interesting.
She did not like the hat form at all. And I told her, that's unfortunate. And then she ordered 2 more hats. I've yet
Interesting.
to get to.
What's a hat pal?
The people who buy hats for each other mysteriously.
I didn't know that was a thing. Mysteriously.
Yes,
Yep.
Serious.
you
Wait,
secretly
can
buy
I-
a hat. Well, I mean, somebody bought Lord Victor a hat.
Well, I did, yeah. But
Yeah.
can we buy hats for people with bombs inside of them?
Listen, if you
Damn
want,
it.
if you want to go about murdering someone, this is not the business to be involved with. You'll need some other contacts.
I mean, I suppose I could always just put a bomb inside. I would never do that.
I
I
have
just. What about fireworks on top? So they just bust out of the top.
Have you noticed how easily people talk about killing one another in this town?
I'm not talking about killing anyone. I'm just
No.
talking about hats.
Well, no, it was something I noticed the other day. Mr. Octavius started talking about how he wanted somebody should strangle Marie or kill Marie, and I was like, wow, that's very violent. I understand that she's insane, but that's extremely violent.
That seemed a bit excessive.
And then she proceeded to come in town and sit there, and he got very quiet. And I said, well, there's your chance. Manifest destiny. Go ahead.
Wait, really? Did that really happen?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, literally
Oh,
like 5 minutes
no.
after he was. In fact, it may not have been 5 minutes later. It may have been literally in the middle
Yeah.
of his rant.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Wonder if he was tempted.
Nope. He just kind
A
of
lot of
ignored
people-
me, and he got very, very quiet.
Yeah, a lot of people threaten but don't follow through with anything they ever say. Interesting.
Yes.
Maybe because it was in the middle of town. Maybe he meant secretly in an alleyway.
Well, he tried to defend himself by saying, I wasn't saying that I was going to be the one to do it. I was saying it would be nice if somebody did do it. Which still was quite interesting to hear.
Right. Well, that is, for transparency's purpose, my business partner. Though I don't know him that well. At least I know he's inclined to murder.
That you certainly do.
I mean, he does make boom booms, so.
Did I tell you he was part of one of my hallucinations yesterday? The one where I found all the bodies in the blood? I found him and Mr. Cassidy, and this is the part that absolutely I imagined, right? Found them in a pile of bodies, just drenched in blood.
That's awful.
It was funny at the time, but I suppose that was probably the cocaine.
Probably. I don't know. I've not really, besides it used topically for medical reason, I don't really know how it feels.
Oh, it's an absolute ball.
I'll take your word for it.
I mean, opium's good too, but cocaine is much more fun. Makes everything tolerable, including intolerable delusions.
I mean,
I
whatever
should
float-
at least mention my sincere and pressing concern
Yes,
What
why do you think
did-
I'm seeing Dr. Greymore? I am very aware. You think I like these? No. Honestly, I just assumed they were all flashbacks. But no, some of these are new, so I have no idea.
To be honest, I think the more urgent and pressing matter is the hickey that he gave you
If that
Uh,
wasn't
before throwing you to the ground.
Yes, Cassidy did give me a hickey and then threw me to the ground. And then ran away.
Oh,
It wasn't Octavius who did that. That was Cassidy.
okay.
Yes, I thought that was a very strange reaction to somebody touching you. I don't know, I guess I scratched him too hard.
I, I need to go actually talk to a lady in the middle of town and make sure that she's doing her job really quick. But I'm sorry that happened to you. That's strange.
Okay, bye, LaCroix.
Listen, all this talk
Wait, what happened to him?
of
Where'd he go?
medical problems on your part clearly is getting to his mind.
Did he just
Stop
faint?
it. Yes, he did.
Yes.
Similar to
Oh.
I just a minute ago when you were talking about Miss Marie and her going on about her nonsensical monsters.
Yeah. Doctor, stop inhaling the fumes.
Yes, I think I still have 2 hats for pickup. I think it's Miss J and... Oh, who else is the other one? Fuck
Wait,
this table.
I
Oh.
am going to check on a thing very quickly, but thank you both for the
Also-
conversation.
Also, so you know, I've already spoken to Miss Aurelia about it so that she knows that he was violent with you. Miss
No,
Dolly.
he was no more violent with me than I was violent with him. I don't know, I think I just scared him. She did tell him he has to take me out on a date, though, Mr. Cassidy. The one who gave me the hickey.
He's a young, impressionable boy. I'm sure you made quite the impression on him.
Yes, I do think I might have scratched him a little bit too hard, but Miss Aurelia said, apparently that's his mom, that he still has to take me out on a date, and, there's no getting out of it.
Take it easy on the poor boy.
He was the one who bit me. Can I interest you in a hat pin or glasses?
Hat pin, yes, I want a hat pin.
5 silver for a hat pin and 5 silver for glasses. They're both one of a kind, unique, wonderful things useful in dire situations.
Fine, I will take one of each. Here you go.
I would love to take one of each, but I have 208 bronze coins to my name.
What have you done?
Well, I haven't gotten any
It's
funding to replenish. Oh, go on.
That's,
20, right?
No, it's 5 each, so it'd be 10.
Okay, definitely 20.
Alright, I will not say no to money. I am easily bribed. I am extremely motivated by money. I will do almost anything for it. Except that.
Just don't try and keep the money from you.
Yeah,
That's
you-
when things get real.
Yes, then we have to involve, certain individuals, and no one likes that.
Yes, the law.
Yeah,
Terrible.
like
Yes, of course.
const smelly, stinky, awful constables.
He's not that stinky, but he's also not a constable. Have you tried him yet?
Wait, what?
Are you married?
No, not technically.
Then you should give him a ride.
I think this anyway that I will be going. Why? Now I have to. God damn it, Dolly.
You know, you terrorize everyone.
Listen, I'm so tired of people pretending and then never going for the bait. I like to make people really understand that if they're going to play, they're going to lose or they're going to play. I do think I upset Lady Celeste. Dolly is an absolute terror.
And what did you upset her about?
Oh, I was flirting with Mr. Blonde. And he paddled into his lady liege. And I was in the casino when they were walking by, talking about what they would do to me, and I said, "Really? Are you all going to be involved?" And they got very flustered.
uh, yes, that woman is very, very protective of what she feels is hers.
I feel
And it
bad for the
does.
poor man. He looks like he's gone cardboard since he started trailing her. Well, now that I've terrorized everyone and driven them out of the city with my degeneracy, here to escort me home, Mr. Max.
Certainly.
Tease. But not like everybody else. At least you play fair. Come on. Alright, I suppose I'll take my horse home before people lose an absolute shit fit over it. People get so upset about this horse.
Yes, and I don't know why.
Nor do I.
Not harming nothing.
You know, I asked the constabulary if there was a warrant or a wanted poster for Miss Marie. And I said, "Can you get that for me?" And they said, "Oh yeah, of course." Never did. All they had to do was tell me how much, if it was dead or alive.
You just need to learn a little bit. That's all. There's no need to be hostile.
Hostile?
Oh, look, Dolly came at just the right time.
I don't know what you were saying, but all I heard was horse style.
No, hostile.
hostile.
Hostile. Hostile.
week revolves around you, Miss Dolly, and your fashion.
Of course not. Sorry. Well, all you fire cutterbugs, have a lovely evening.
You as well.
You as well.
Looked like they were telling stories around that campfire.
It did, didn't it?
We really must do some investigating tomorrow.
Agreed, though. I'm not gonna have much time later in the evening. It'll be mostly a little bit earlier in the day that I'll be about.
Yes. I think I have a session with the doc tomorrow.
Oh, do you?
Dr.
Another one of
Graymore
your dates.
thoroughly insists it's not a date, as much as I protest.
Oh, Grandpa, come on. Come on. Come on.
Grandpa, why?
Well, on the horse even.
Grandpa, no.
Miss Edwards, two Fertile Canyon, please, on the hurry.
Oh, we're
You
going
go-
there too.
Go ahead, you can go first, because I'm on a horse. Alright, thank you, LaCroix. The fuck was that?
You said to go first?
Not to punch me off my
Okay.
horse.
I didn't punch you
You
off your horse. I walked
absolutely
around
did.
you.
So violent of you. Oh, fuck. What's going on? Guess I went the wrong way.
Oh!
How are you, lovey? I'm apparently unable to drive this horse correctly. I ran away? That's because I was gonna go to bed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Getting on at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
We were just retrieving mashed potatoes.
No
Some ladies
worries.
crying very loudly about them.
Wow.
You know, next time I'm just sticking you on the train ahead of me to make sure you and the horse get to the right place. Why
Listen.
is this? Oh,
Like, where did that come from? It's like a show bag. Oh, what?
That's a
I
rock.
don't know.
It was an accident, I swear.
mm-hmm.
Huh. Listen, of course, it's always got an attitude. What would you expect of a horse that's mine?
You back your slinging arrows just getting off the horse.
Alright. It was an accident. Sometimes things happen.
Mm-hmm.
You're all up in my business. My God. Listen, she's a snack. She smooches with everybody. Ugh. Yep. It was a great day. Fantastic.
It was a day, all right. It was a day.
Why do I just have a hard time believing that Miss Tamara didn't open her mouth?
I, considering what I have been told, people have said that Miss Tamara is the one who spoke about it. That one of them or two of them heard it from her and then started spreading it around. And, well, you know how that goes.
I mean, this is the thing about it. How does she even remember? She was beaten senseless.
I do not even understand.
Apparently, a sense of self-preservation is a terrible thing to have.
Or a sense of self duty. After all, I did give my word at least that we would not attack anybody there. We would just be there to listen.
To be fair,
You were simply there to collect your money.
I didn't even know that there was anything else going on out there. I was literally just, oh look, people. Vaktu getting his ass chased.
I believe your focus was mostly on getting your money back.
Yeah, but I got my money really quick.
True.
No, I just have a bunch of fucking silver and I don't know what to do with it.
Well invested, of course.
In what?
I don't know. We'll have to find something to invest it into.
Like this. What are you doing in there?
Getting undressed.
Oh. It's a weird town we live in, you know that?
Well, considering the creature that just came running in town behind you, yeah. It is certainly a weird town.
I don't know, but like, you get murder, you get like weird evangelicals. I don't know.
Not to mention all these stories about monsters and
Oh yeah.
people acting irrationally.
Frank told me and I think his moon she had a bad batch. He told me he saw a two-legged wolf.
A two-legged wolf.
Yeah, a big old wolf walking around on two legs.
My God.
Man, he's probably got the fucking bad chemicals too.
That or he was completely out of his wits on his moonshine.
Maybe. But like I said, moonshine's dangerous to make. You do it wrong, you go blind.
You witnessed that one yourself?
Some of the stills that people have, they'll explode.
Well, that one I do know.
Yesterday would have been terrible. Like, absolutely horrible had I not started drinking and smoking when I did. Like, I'm used to like flashbacks and all that, right? Seeing things that, horrible things that happened in the past and all that, right? But
Of course.
new stuff like that is just weird and scary, and I don't like it.
I think it has something to do with all these tales about monsters getting into your dreams.
Maybe, but maybe.
Your imaginative mind coming up with creative delusions
Artistic
to terrorize
delusions.
yourself.
Yeah. honestly, though. It just makes me so mad. Maybe you should have just slept with her.
Slept with who?
Tomorrow.
Oh, good heavens.
Oh, maybe she wouldn't be so mad at you.
Or maybe she would have been even more mad.
Why you say that?
How many women get a taste of a man and then when he doesn't reciprocate more after that, end up taking out their anger on him
Oh, is
in other
that
ways.
what happened? You gave her a little sip and she liked the tea too much.
I don't know. I did enjoy her company when we were first working together at the constabulary. We did have to spend a lot of time together as there were not very many of us, particularly very many of us that were dedicated. I don't know, maybe it's possible that she grew feelings for me and was upset that I did not reciprocate those feelings.
I don't know. What was that she used to live with Mr. Roderick?
I don't know if it's she used to. For all I know, she still does. But they
Really?
were living together, last to my knowledge.
But Mr. Roderick says he's single.
That he does. Might be some sort of living arrangement. Or it might be something more, I don't know.
A man and a woman do not just live together without doing other things unless they are related. Like the fire's gone out of your eyes, too.
Hmm. Yes, well, yesterday was quite the trying day, wasn't it?
Yes, red fire in your eyes.
Was there now?
Yes. I wonder what the difference between red fire and green fire in a delusion is. You wouldn't happen to know, would you? Interpret my dreams for me.
The difference between a red fire and green fire in a delusion.
It's not really a riddle.
Or was it more of a vision?
I think vision, the word, implies some truth or prophetic knowledge. Illusion implies some fabrication of truth.
An interpretation, perhaps, of things seen. Is that what you mean?
Maybe. I don't know, it's strange. And they're violent too. Ugh, they're fucking violent. I need less violent delusions, please. Can I get something like unicorns and bunnies and shit? I need more inspiration for bunny hats, please.
Knowing you, the bunny'd go around ripping people's throats out.
Wow! I am not a violent individual. That is horrible slander.
No, but that doesn't mean your mind doesn't fabricate it.
Yes, it is not something I particularly enjoy either. And it just carried on too. Nightmares about like, God, I don't even know. Like eating someone. You ever had that kind of a nightmare?
Like they were eating someone,
No, like I
your
was eating someone.
like you were eating someone.
Yeah, and it's what's so wild about the delusions, right? Well, it's like I don't have a lot of the impulse for it usually. Not to say that there's not the occasion where I think a gun would be the solution, but it's not like, oh, you know what I would really like to do? I would really like to eat a person today. Or I would really like to stand on top of a pile of bodies. No, I don't have those desires.
What I have personally seen men willing to do to one another on a battlefield.
Uh, but though those are not so much delusions as flashbacks. Or fabrications and extensions of things I've seen. I assume it doesn't usually like deviate so much that it's an entirely different like country or something like that, but these are advanced hallucinations, advanced delusions.
What do you mean, like identifiable men from different countries?
So, like, okay, red-coated Union soldiers make sense, right? That was some horrendous mix of memories and reality and too much hack loop. Union soldiers in the street, being a Union soldier, that was weird. What was weirder is like seeing being what like not even like I don't even know. It wasn't a Yankee and it wasn't a Johnny. So I don't know what the hell these uniforms were. Some fabrication, I guess. And the landscape looked completely unfamiliar to me. Cold and not like Midwest cold or New York cold. It was, I don't know, weird. And then felt European to me. I don't know.
I guess that would make sense if their uniforms weren't American.
I guess.
But have you even ever seen European uniforms?
No, that's why I don't get it. I think I just made it up. I've never been to Europe. I know they say that red coats is like British and stuff like that, or maybe French. I don't know, but oof.
No, the British definitely are red coated.
There you go. I don't know.
The Prussians have their Prussian blue with red lining. Then you had the French with their lighter blues, almost matching that new flag they've been flying. That red, white, and blue seems to be catchy since the Americans started their own revolution.
I don't know. I don't want to think about it. I want to go to bed.
Mm.
Take me to bed, Mr. Handsome.
Right away, come here.
Alright, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. Bye.